The library's adult literacy partner, Indy Reads, honored one of its volunteers, David Taylor, with the Richard Murray Spirit of Indy Reads Award this year at its annual recognition event. This new award is named in memory of Richard Murray, a former Indy Reads student whose spirit exemplifies the best of Indy Reads and its mission to promote the literacy of adults and families in central Indiana.
Listen, people have been laughing, making fun of me ever since I've been grown. Girl, when you can't keep up with the crowd, it is really hard maintaining, you know. And people used to really they hate the thing, they do their finger. Richard can't read, he's a dummy, he's a dummy. But I know that I wasn't a dummy, because anytime you can maintain and survive little situation, I might not can do what they could do. But yet and still, I wasn't no dummy. I don't feel that word, it upsets me now. I got an interview, and the guy, I forget the gentleman's name, he said, Mr. Murray, he said, how far did you go in high school? I said, I went to the 11th grade. So he said, I'm gonna give you an IQ test and see how much you need to work on where you go to and read. So he gave me the IQ test, I signed my name, my address, put it on there. And I sit there a while, and he was doing something else. So he said, you through? So I said, I'm through. So I gave him the form. He looked at it, and he said, well, Mr. Murray, you didn't fill out all the questions. I said, if you ask me the question, I will give you the answer. He said, is that bad? I said, yes, it's that bad. I said, it's just so much that I can fill out on the application, because I can't read everything, but I can give you the answer. He said, well, don't worry about this. He said, this is what this class is all about, you know.
He was nervous about writing. That's the hard part about when you teach someone to read. It's easier to learn to read than it is to write and to spell. And so we do a journal every day. I'll write one day to him, and we'll read it in class the next day, and then he writes back to me, and I read it. And I mean, his writing has improved so greatly.
She don't learn me how to write a letter to my brother. I ain't never wrote to my brother. I ain't never wrote to my kids. Just a few weeks ago, I wrote her something. She said, write this letter and give it to your wife. I had never in my life wrote my letter to my wife. So happened I got to catch her by herself, and I gave it to her. And she said, what is this? I said, open it up. I was just enthused, you know, so I sit down beside her, and she took it out and she read it. She embraced me. She said, Hippie, you have never done this long. She said, you have learned something since you've been going to Eat and Read. I said, without you and Kathy, it would never be possible, you know. I carry a briefcase, little sis, and I ain't never carried school books, not less a briefcase. People think I'm really going somewhere in my neighborhood that's really important, but to me, it's the best thing that I could do, you know. When I come home, they say, Mr. Murray sure got a nice briefcase. Hey, little sis, I feel like I'm the biggest shot in the world for his business-wise, you know.
He loves being a schoolboy. That's what he calls himself.
Meeting people like over at Indy Reads, everyone that I have met, they just seem to want to help. If they ask you anything, they say, well, if you got time, come up here, you know. Little sis, this is the wonderful thing that ever happened to me out of all the things since I've been a grown man that I'll say I really love.